All right. Thank you for joining me in this talk about um, the Genesis after creation and after the flood was the continuation of what we started yesterday, deep diving into the things of God and everything that God has spoken from the beginning. So let's go now to Genesis 24, okay, because we left off at the end of 23. And this is going to be another long form video for all my viewers. Thank you so much for just listening in because it's a little early in the morning and I didn't want to show my face. So that's why I'm having um, a better lighting situation with just having this text of all first mentioned. And I might um, add some text here as we go. So just know it's not going to be very visually interacting as our normal uh, video. Okay. All right. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth. Okay, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't supposed to turn the page. That thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites. So he made them to swear not to take daughters of the Canaanites, and among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, Peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? So he's asking about the condition by which, okay, well, if I don't find anybody, what should I do? Should I bring him back to the land from where he came? And verse 6, and Abraham said unto him, Beware that thou bring not my son thither again. So he's like, no, by no means should you bring him back because he's not getting married to nobody over here, right? Because he does not want his son to be married to any Canaanite, okay? Because guess what? As we've been talking about, Ham has bad blood. Canaanites come from Ham. So that lineage is cursed. So so Abraham has wants nothing to do with them at all. Okay. Now verse 7, the Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, Unto thy seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. So if you don't find nobody, okay, you clear. But if you know, by no means you're gonna bring him back. And so the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master and sware to him concerning this matter. So this was a behavior that they did to um provide a covenant, a swearing of sorts. Okay, that is, I think this might be the first time they ever had the putting the hand under the thigh. This is a traditional thing that they did to create a covenant or a bond or an oath. Okay, so the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed, for all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. So he was expecting women to come out there. Okay. So he said, O Lord God of my master Abraham. So I'm praying to that God that my master believes in. I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, Let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink, and she shall say, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed kindness unto my master. So he's praying and he's like, man, I hope that when the woman comes and she offers to give me a drink and my camels, that she's gonna be the one. Let her be the one, Lord. So this is, what he's thinking, how he's thinking, and what he's praying when he is sent to find a wife for Isaac. Verse 15. And it came to pass before he had done speaking that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abram's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. Okay, so she's in the family. Okay, Milcah was his brother's wife. Okay, so Nahor was his brother. Okay, so the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin. Neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her, and said, Let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. So he wasn't standing right by the well, apparently, because he ran up to her. She was going to the well. Okay. And she said, Drink, my lord. And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also. Ding 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 ding. I know his mind was going racing when she said that, until they have done drinking. And she hasted and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again into the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. So he was wondering, okay, oh my goodness, say it ain't so. You talking about the first woman that came to the well? She offered the camels drink. This is the winner. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of half of shekel weight, and two bracelets for her hands of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? Okay. And so she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, and which she bare unto Nahor. So she said moreover unto him, we have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. So she's like, yeah, come on. And the man bowed down his head and worshiped the Lord. Oh, he was so happy. I know he was like, oh, this is it. Oh, this is a ticket. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master. So he knew that there was favor there. And of course, God had already said and promised to Abraham he would have good fortune. So blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. So she ran and told everybody. And Rebekah had a brother, and his name was Laban. Okay. And so Laban ran out unto the man unto the well. So he stayed at the well while she ran to tell everybody from the family. Okay. So then the brother runs back to the well to get the servant of Abraham. I don't know. Did he have a name? Yeah, it doesn't really say. It just says his eldest servant of his house. Okay. So anyway, so it came to pass when he saw the earrings and the bracelet upon his sister's hand, and when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, thus spake the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, come in, thou blessed of the Lord. So he's like, oh yeah, I see all this jewelry you got. I know you rich. He was excited. Okay, wherefore standest thou without? So why you standing out here? Come on. For I have prepared the house and room for the camels. Okay, so all 10 camels gonna be taken care of. And the man came into the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the men's feet that were with him. Now, I want you to keep in mind, in so far in the text from chapter 1 through 20, uh, 23, they've been talking about washing of feet when you are being cordial and hospitable to visitors. It's always been like traditional to get water to wash the feet of the visitor. So this is a ritual, or this is a tradition of hospitality that has been, kind of set precedent. And so anyway, in the men's feet, they got washed. The men's feet that were with them too. And there was set meat before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told mine errand. So until I say what I came for, just hold on. And he said, speak on. And he said, I am Abraham's servant, and the Lord has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. And he has given me flocks and herds and silver and gold and menservant and maidservant and camels and asses. And so he's in charge of all of that. And so Sarah, my master's wife, bare a son to my master when she was old. And unto him hath he given all that he had. And my master made me swear, saying, thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. So they was living in the Canaanites land, and he's like, don't get a wife from the Canaanites. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, peradventure the woman will not follow me. Like so. And he said unto me, the Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with thee and prosper thy way. So he told him that, hey, the angel gonna be with you, gonna make sure your way is prosperous. And thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from that my oath, when thou comest to my kindred. And if they give not thee one, thou shalt be clear from my oath. So if you don't find nobody from my master's house, you clear the oath. But don't bring them back over here. Okay? And I came this day unto the well, and this is the servant talking, and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if now thou do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of the water, and it shall come to pass that when the virgin cometh forth to draw water, and I say to her, give me, I pray thee, a little water. So he's explaining his prayer at this point. A little water, thy pitcher to drink. And she said to me, both drink thou, and I will also draw for thy camels. Let the same be the woman whom the Lord hath appointed out for my master's son. And before I had done speaking in my heart, see, this was the prayer, speaking in the heart, behold, Rebecca came. So, like, I was praying before I even got done praying or thinking. Then, behold, Rebecca came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down into the well and drew water. And I said unto her, let me drink, I pray thee. And she said, and she made haste and let down her pitcher from her shoulder and said, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. I know he was happy. And as I asked her and said, whose daughter art thou? And she said, the daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, from Milcah bare unto him. And I put the earrings upon her face and the bracelets upon her hand, and I bowed down my head and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, which had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter unto his son. And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my masters, tell me, and if not, tell me. So tell me whether you're going to be kind or not to my master, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. So I know which way to go, how to handle this. And so then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceedeth from the Lord. I know this came from God himself. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken. So they believed that God had spoken in this matter, because as soon as he said something, as soon as he was praying, it came to pass. And so they felt it was definitely ordained by God. And it came to pass that when Abram's servant heard their words, he worshiped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. Oh man, he was too ecstatic. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother's precious things. Ooh, they all got gifts. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, send me away unto my master. And her brother and her mother said, let the damsel abide with us a few days, at the least 10. After that she shall go. So they trying to keep her. They're like, oh man, can she stay, like 10 more days? At least, and then she can go. And he said unto them, hinder me not. Hey, please don't make me wait. Don't hold me back. Seeing the Lord has prospered my way. Seeing that God had already set this up, come on, let's just go. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, we will call the damsel and inquire at her. So we just ask her what she thinks. See what she wants to do. Okay. And so they called Rebekah and said unto her, wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I'll go. She didn't waste no time. She was ready. She's like, man, he's rich. I'm gonna marry a rich man. Oh, and part of the family. Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer, right? And they sent away Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. Okay, so she had somebody to go with her. Um, and they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. Wow, that is a blessing. And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rode upon the camel and um, followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went his way. Okay. And Isaac came from the way of the well Lahairoi, for he dwelt in the south of the country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at eventide. So this is the first mention of meditation. Um, Isaac went out and meditated in the field at the eventide. So when it was evening, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebecca lifted up her eyes. Okay, so they locking eyes. And when he saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. Oh, she jumped off that camel. For he had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil. Uh-oh. She didn't jump off because she wanted to get to him. She jumped off because she wanted to cover herself. She didn't want to be seen. So if you think about the times where, or the tradition that the wife to be covers herself and like doesn't get seen before the wedding, think about this. This might be where they get that tradition from. And she covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his brother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So this made him feel so much better after losing his mom. So then, again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So, so then he got married again after he lost his wife, after her passing. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asherim, and Letushim, and Lumen. And the sons of Midian was Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abida, and Alda. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abram gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son. So he wanted to make sure that Isaac got everything and not the concubine. I mean, they got some stuff, but not the bulk of what he was inheriting, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 160. Now, from what I understand, score is 20. and three scores is 60, plus 15 makes 75. So he was 175 at this point. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. So they set a precedence for age at this point, well, by saying a good old age, right? But the story or the author of the story said it was a good old age. Okay. Um, Also, it was mentioned that God will not always strive with man, and he will limit the number of their days to 120. So, all that being said, Abraham did live to 175, and that was good. All right, so his son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth. So this is they're repeating a lot of the things that was set forth before. You know, when Abraham purchased it from the sons of Heth, they're stating it again that that's where Abraham was buried and Sarah, his wife. Okay, so they were buried together in that field that he had purchased. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well of Lahairoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, from Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, that bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nabajoth, and Kedar, and Abdil, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, and Hadar, and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles. Now keep 12 princes according to their nations. So keep in mind, whenever they had sons, that they built them and they named towns by them by where they end up living, um, and where they end up settling. That became the name of the town, okay, or the nation. So, and by their castles. So their castles were their dwelling places. This is the first time I've seen the word castle, I believe. So, yeah. These are the years of the life of Ishmael, and 137. So Ishmael lived to 137, and he gave up the ghost and died. And he was gathered unto his people, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt. So right before you get to Egypt, as they goeth toward Assyria. So they're laying the foundation and telling you the location and where they lived, and he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. Oh, he was young. And then the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. So he prayed to God because Rebecca wasn't able to have children at that point. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebecca, his wife, conceived. Okay. All right. So when he prayed to have Rebecca to have children, then God answered by allowing her to conceive. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? So this is the first time that they even had known anything about having twins or two children at once. And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Whoa. So they entreated, and God answered. So, and this is the answer. And the one people shall be stronger, and the other people, um, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay, so the first one that come out is going to be the servant to the younger. So the second one that come out. So a lot of times I think they say that that sets a precedent because it was the first time mentioned. The first time they had two nations. So let's keep reading. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Hmm. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother, and his hands took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Okay, so since that was the case, if Esau came first, that means he was going to serve Jacob. And Isaac was 80 old when she bare him, would bear them. Okay, so Isaac was 60 when he had Esau and Jacob. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Okay, here's another occupation. So this is not the first hunter, because Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord. So Esau became a hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob's man was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. Okay, so Isaac loved Esau because he ate his venison, but Rebecca loved Jacob. Okay, so they had favorites going on here. So yeah, and Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he did faint. So he was tired. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee. Okay, so who's supposed to be serving who? All right, he out of order right now. But anyway, I pray thee with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore he came. But therefore his name was called Edom. So he is faint, therefore his name is called Edom. All right. So Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? He's so tired. He's like, I don't know. It don't even matter at this point. You can have it. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Mm. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and arose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he was bad. He didn't even care about his birthright. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. So, so they mentioned the first famine. So they had never suffered a famine like like the first famine in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines. Okay, that was the same King Abimelech that had the dream when Abraham came with Sarai, you know, unto Gerar. And then the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee. So God is telling him, don't go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land where I'm going to tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. So this was an ongoing promise. He's like, yeah, I mean, he wanted them to know that, hey, my promise has to be fulfilled. God didn't want them going to Egypt. He said, no, this is what you need to do. Go to the place where I'm going to show you because this is the promise that I gave Abraham. Okay. So because because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So he's telling him why he's blessing him and why he's going to be blessed because of what his father did through his obedience. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the man of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she's my sister. Ah, so look at how he went doing what his daddy did. His daddy would take his wife and say, she's my sister. Okay. And so she's my wife. Lest, said he, the men of that place to kill me for Rebecca. So that's the same thing Abram did with Sarai. Okay? Because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting. So they was flirting. In that day, sporting was flirting. Um, I believe. So that's what I think sporting with Rebecca, his wife. So they was playing around. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety, she is thy wife. She your wife. Man, y'all playing around. Y'all acting like y'all a couple. You could tell. And how says thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lying with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltness upon us. See, and Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Okay? So he had put out a decree that nobody should touch him or his wife. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year an hundredfold. Okay? And the Lord blessed him, and the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. So, I mean, he was great. Like, he had a lot. For he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants. So he was rich too, just like Abraham. And the Philistines envied him. Okay? So this, I mean, you know, it is not good to learn the word in pieces. You know, not that the law of first mention is really a law, but that in order to understand what happened later, you have to understand what happened first. You know? Because the Philistines had started envying the very blessed people of God from the beginning. Okay? So you need to know that when there is a precedent set, it's set. It's set from the beginning. Um, so that helps you understand why the animosity exists, why certain behaviors were taking place, why certain wars happened, why certain things occurred because of people's mindset and the way people were feeling at the time. And the fact that the Philistines came from the land of Ham. Ham is just bad altogether. You know, they had sin lying at their door and they opened the door to sin all the time. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is going down from generation to generation of people that did not bless God or care about his oath. Okay, so the Philistines, they envy him. For all the wells which his father's servant had digged in the days of Abraham's father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Oh my goodness. You see how mean they was? They stopped the well, filled it with dirt. Wow. They didn't want them to have anything. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the well of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. So it seemed like as soon as Abraham died, it was like, oh, much disrespect. Let's go ahead and fill these wells because Abraham was definitely defending his well. The first time they were trying to steal it, right? So Isaac digged again the well of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servant digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. Okay? And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of their well Esek. So now they're naming the well because they strove with him. Okay, so Esek, I guess, meaning like strife. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he called the name of that Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well. So he left from over there and he digged another well. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. Okay, so Rehoboth was a name given to the good well where they did not strive, where they did not fight over. They did not fight over that well. So this was quote unquote a good well. And he said, For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. All right, so this is good. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. Okay? So because of the promise he gave Abraham, he's going to bless Isaac. And he builded an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord and pitched his tent there. So this was a tradition. He always like built an altar and gave sacrifices to God. And pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar and Huzzah, and one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me? Why are you coming to me? Y'all are supposed to be hating me. Y'all the enemy, and have sent me away from you. So what do you come here for? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt. Okay, so that's like, okay, let's make a promise. So we don't get hurt, nobody get hurt. And we have not touched thee. And as we have done unto thee um, nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace, thou art now blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. Okay, so I mean, he handled like a champ, really, because anybody else, okay, y'all covered up my well 3, 4 times, and y'all being mean, and now you want to be nice. Now you want me to promise to always be nice to you and not hurt you. Okay, see, you don't know if this was a setup or not, but he still was very nice and hospitable and made them a feast. And so they rose up betimes in the morning and sware unto one another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servant came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto them, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. So they explained Beersheba, because before, Beersheba was mentioned, but they didn't give the backstory. So I believe that this was the backstory for why they called Beersheba what it was. You understand what I'm saying? So Esau was 40 years old when he took a wife, Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite. Now he know good and well he was not supposed to be marrying anybody from the man of Canaan. But anyway, he did it anyway. So if you don't recognize the names, you will be confused, or you would not know what line he done married into. So verse 35, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Okay. Why is it a grief of mine? How would you know? You wouldn't know unless you understand why or who he married. If you didn't understand who he married, then you wouldn't understand their frustration. First of all, because he married out of the family, or out of the lineage. He didn't stay in line with those who are not Canaanites. You understand? So it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Okay? So it it is very clear that traditionally when they were getting old and they was about to die, they wanted to bless and give the blessing of the father, give the blessing to the son in those days, that they would prepare before they die to bless them, to let them know their inheritance and what was going to take place, right? And so he asked for savory meat such as he loved, and bring it to him, and that his soul could bless him before he died. And so Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. So she heard this and she was like, oh, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. So she was like, oh, no, 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 no. He ain't it. He is not it. No, he don't deserve none of that blessing. They already said it aforetime. They said it that she really loved Jacob and not Esau anyway. Even before this happened, before he sent Esau out to the field. Okay? So Rebekah spake unto Jacob, her son, like Esau wasn't her son too. They were twins. Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Listen to me. According to that which I command thee, go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goat. All right? Go get you 2 kids of the goat, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loves. So I'm gonna make his favorite dish before Esau get back. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. So she wanted Jacob to get the blessing. Verse 11. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. That, he's like, that's not even going to fly. Because, Esau is hairy. He's going to know that that's not me. And so my father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Okay, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. So just go. So she's like, let the curse be on me. Just listen to what I'm saying. Go and get that what I told you to get. And so he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat for his father, as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau. So he took some of his clothes, which were with her in the house. So that's the first time they said house. They talk about castles and things like that, but I think that's the first time it actually has the word house. Anyway, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. Okay, so now he's dressing like Esau. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, so he could be hairy. Okay, and upon his neck. And so she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared unto the hand of her son Jacob. And he came into his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? So he was even questioning, like, oh my, is this my son? Is this Esau? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. So he's saying all this stuff, talking a lot of game. He's lying straight up. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly? Like, you came back real fast, my son. And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Oh my goodness. He just playing it. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee. So he's like, he's wondering at this point, is this really Esau, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not? See, he's checking him. Why would he check him? Because he had doubt. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice. So, like, he knew. He, I think he knew that it was Jacob, because of course, clearly they had different voices. He said it's Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, so he was confused. And so he discerned him not. The text says he discerned him not because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau's hands, you know, just like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, "Art thou my very son Esau?" And he said, "I am." So he still steady lying. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Okay. So his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him and said, Okay, so he smelled him. He said, Okay, you smell like Esau. You got his clothes like Esau. You feel like him because you got hairy hands, even though you don't sound like Esau. Okay, all right. So he came near and kissed him. He smelled him. So he said, See, the smell of my son is the smell. of a field which the Lord had blessed. So therefore God give thee of the dew of the heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Now, if you recall, this is the same blessing that God gave Abraham. And it came to pass, as son, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone, so he had already gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father. Then Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. Oh my goodness. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. He said the same exact thing his son said. I mean, Jacob said, they both his sons. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I'm thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Oh my goodness. So Isaac trembled very exceedingly. Like he was like, Oh my gosh, who? Where is he that had taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest. So I already had some venison before you came. And he blessed, and I blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry. Now, that's the first time I heard bitter. So he was so sad, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety. Okay. So he was real conniving, and has taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. So he's like, Yep, he was he's so living up to his name. But he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord. So now, see, he done said he done put everybody under his feet. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants. So everybody's supposed to be servants. All the brethren are supposed to be servants to Jacob at this point. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He was crying. Yes, he was so sad. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the word shalt thou live, by thy word shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? So he told him how he could prevail, from under the yoke of his brother. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Oh man, he's so mad. He wants to kill his brother for what he did. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. So he must have said this out loud. So Rebekah heard about it, and she sent and called Jacob, younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Okay, now proposing is in uh, italics. So this is not the original stated, but they put that in there for emphasis. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until your brother fury turn away. So until he stop being mad, go to Haran house. Okay, stay with him a few days, and he forget that which he has done to him. How he gonna just forget in just a few days? He ain't gonna forget that easy. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. Wow. She's she's worried about her life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? So she's frustrated. She's like, oh no, I don't want him to be getting no wife from these women right here. What good my life gonna be? She talking about her future. She's like, this gonna mess up everything. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. Okay. So when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padanaram, then to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram. Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abram's son. So he took a wife from the people of Canaan out of spite. Do you see that? Seeing that the daughters of Canaan did not please Isaac his father, he went unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughters of Ishmael, Abram's son, the daughter of Nebajoth, to be his wife. Wow. I mean, he was really mad. Esau did some dumb stuff, didn't he? Put down in the comment you think Esau really he made his name Edom. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he was renamed to Edom, if you don't remember. And so he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night. And let me just interject. Do you think that dumb, D-U-M-B, is rooted from Edom? You tell me in the comments what you think. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for pillows and lay down in that place to sleep. And he did dream, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. Wow, it's the first dream. Um, before they talked about Joseph the dreamer, right? Um, so and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. So Jacob is now being passed on the blessing, and he's been given sight, spiritual sight, insight in his dream. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. They're passing down the blessing. And behold, I with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest. So no matter where you go, I'm gonna be with you, and bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee. Okay, so he said, I'm going to keep my word. And so I'm going to stay with you until everything is fulfilled. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. He's like, I didn't even know. And he was afraid and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillow, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. Now, see, this first time the pouring of the oil happened, you know, and he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of that city was called Luz at first. So it was Luz before, but since he had that dream, he renamed it Bethel. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. All right. So he didn't put out the the incentive to be called, you know, um, called by God, and the Lord being his God. And this stone, which I have set for a pillar, shall be God's house. So he done declared God's house from a pillar. And all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give tenth unto thee. So this is another tithe that he's mentioning. So he promised to give a tenth to God's house. Okay? This is the first time, well, this is not the first time they talked about tithe, but then the precedent was already set, even though Melchizedek gave a tenth or tithe of all, right, to Abraham. And now he's promising to give a tithe of all to God's house. Then Jacob went on his journey and came unto the land of the people of the east, and he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flock, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. Now see, those flocks weren't stupid. They was like, oh, we know that this is where the water come from, so they just laying right over there. Okay? And so thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled a stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. So they put the top back on the well. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? They want to know if he's sick or not. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. Okay, this is where they meet. This is where Jacob and Rachel meet. And they said, We cannot until the flocks be gathered. So then Rachel came with the father's sheep, for she kept them. Okay, so she was the one keeping the sheep for her father. And so it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Okay, now see, listen, it seems to be a trend, right? It's trending. They keep going to the well and finding their wife at the well. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. He cried, Oh my God, she won. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father, and it came to pass, oh man, they happy. They are too stoked. And it came to pass when the man heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. Okay, so he stayed with him a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, so after a month, he said to Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Okay, so you gonna serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? So what should I pay you? You want to know how much you want to get paid. And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. Okay. Now Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Okay, so he's like, yeah, I'll serve you for Rachel. I want her. Okay. And so Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to anybody else. Another man abide with me. Go ahead and stay with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days. Oh, like time just flew by because he was so in love. For the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. Okay, so she a virgin. He stayed and waited, and now he's ready to have a wife. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. Mmm, trickery. He sounded like Jacob himself, because Jacob did all that trickery with his brother. Can we say what comes around goes around? I don't know. Let's just keep reading. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. Okay. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. So that's another thing that was trending. Whenever they gave away their daughters, they also got a maid to go with them. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. So he didn't even know who he was sleeping with. And It could be that he was drunk. It doesn't say that. I mean, I know they was eating and drinking from the feast, but it doesn't say that he was drunk. But anyway, he's like, what? What's this that thou hast done? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? Here go that beguiled again. Beguiled came from when the serpent beguiled Eve. Okay? So in the spirit of deception had Laban done this. Okay. So Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. So he already knew that if that was a set a precedent, why didn't he just say that from the beginning? No, he didn't want it. He didn't want that to be the case. He didn't want to say that. He just wanted his brother to come and stay with him. His brother being his brother's son. Okay, or his or was it his sister's son? Okay, I'm getting all mixed up. But anyway, family. He wanted to stay in the family, and so by that he did good. So Laban really set him up for the okie doke, really. But then he said, fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. Okay, so Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. Okay, so Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. So now Rachel has a handmaid, and her name was Bilhah. Okay, and he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah. Of course, because he never loved Leah. It was Rachel he wanted from the beginning, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Oh man, who did it? It said the Lord saw that Leah was hated, so Leah's womb was open and Rachel was barren. Oh man, I this is this is something else. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction. Okay. Now therefore my husband will love me. That's what she thinks. That's what she thinks. My husband will love me since I had a baby by him. Mm, that's a mouthful. She conceived again and bare a son and said, because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And so she called his name Simeon. So when we think about the naming of children, they usually had a reason. They usually had a reason behind how they named the child, right? So Simeon was because um, God saw that she was hated. And so she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me. Like, hold up. He been joined unto you. They been having, you know, intercourse and going about and having kids. How is it that just having a third son is going to make him join you for good? I don't know what that thinking was all about, but she said, because I have borne him 3 sons, therefore was his name called Levi. Okay. And she conceived again. So now she on her 4th child and bear a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. So now she turned from depending on the love of her husband to now loving God. So see what she said. Therefore, she called his name Judah. Okay. See, now will I praise the Lord. So she gave the Lord glory instead of trying to live up to being loved by Jacob. So she called his name Judah and left bearing. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, She envied her sister. This is not the first time that envy happened because of not being able to bear. Okay. So who else was bearing before? Sarai was bearing and she was envious of Hagar. But in that sense, Hagar was the one that despised her mistress. So that was called a mistress. So now they calling it a handmaid. So pay attention to sometimes the whoever's writing the storyteller is using different words for the same thing. So they were calling the handmaid of Sarai, who was Hagar, the mistress. And now they're calling them handmaids. This was the person that was given to the wife to be a servant. So the servant of Rachel's wife was Bilhah. Um, so Rachel gave Bilhah just like Sarai gave Hagar to be Abraham's wife. Okay, so she said, "Behold, my maid." I'm looking at chapter 30, verse 3. And she said, "Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her." And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her, and Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God has judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore call she his name Dan. Okay. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. So she really thinks she prevailed by having a child through her maid? Wow. I don't know why she thinks that put her in the higher position than her sister, because she still is not bearing any kids at this point. Okay, and she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid and gave her Jacob to wife. Hold up. So Leah's like, I'm not having no more children. Here, you can have my maid. You can have children with her. So at this point, Jacob had like 4 wives. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. Okay, so Asher is like maybe being happy, or they will call her blessed. One of those. Now Reuben went in the days of wheat. Now remember, Reuben was the firstborn from Leah, right? Leah's son. And found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Okay, so they explain it. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrake. Okay, so I don't really know what mandrakes is, but apparently there was some among the wheat in the field, and brought them, and he brought them to his mother. So then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrake. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldst thou take away my son's mandrakes also? Oh my God, she's so bitter. She's like, oh, so you took my husband, now you want my son stuff? Okay. And she said unto her, Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee this night for thy son's mandrake. So they pay, oh my goodness, they paying him off. So she paying for the mandrake with her husband. That's crazy. So you can have him for the night. They are straight pimping Jacob. Oh my goodness. So he is getting pimped out to Leah for the mandrake. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee. So these are wages for my son's mandrake. Oh my God. And he lay with her that night. So he went along with it. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the fifth son. I thought she left bearing. She thought she was done. And Leah said, God had given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. Okay. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. So she didn't even stop there. She had another one after that. And Leah said, God has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons. And she called his name Zebulon. So that's half the truth right there. She done birthed half of Jacob's 12 sons. Wow. And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. Okay, so she had seven. But see, they never, well, of course, Dinah's not going to be counted as, one of the sons. But God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. Okay, so finally God remembered her, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. Okay, so she's taking away the reproach. To me, like the reproach being my bad name, like she's taking away the bad. So she called his name Joseph. Okay, when the reproach is taken away, Joseph came out of it and said, the Lord shall add to me another. That's why I've heard that it said that Joseph means that the Lord shall add. Okay, another son. All right. Um, it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, okay, so now Jacob speaking up, he's talking to his father-in-law, send me away that I may go unto mine own place and to my country. Now I'm set. I got me a son for the love of my life. So now I'm ready to go. Wow. Give me my wife and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. This is not the first time you say, if I have found favor in thy sight. Um, so he asked him to tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for thy sake. Hmm. So he said, I know that you blessed, and you have blessed me um because you are a blessing, right? And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. So he's trying to bargain with him more. Like, I will pay you whatever you want now at this point, because you've been having me blessed. I've been so blessed because of you. I want you to stay even longer. but he's trying to buy for his freedom at this point. That's um Jacob is. He's trying to go. So he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou had before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. So before I came, you didn't have but a little bit. Now it's a lot. And the Lord has blessed thee since my coming. And now, when shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou will do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. Okay. All right. So let's recap a little bit, because he says a lot here. You know, he's talking about how much he's been blessed by Jacob's presence in his house. And so he want to keep him. And, you know, and now basically he's agreeing with him. Yep, you're right. You had a little bit before I came, and now you got a lot. And the Lord blessed me since I came. So now, when am I going to get to have my own? I want my own house. He's asking. And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou will give me anything. He said, I don't want nothing from you. If thou will do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. Hmm. Okay. So he's giving in. He's giving in to him. Wow. So he's really talking about the fact that it's not really him that's profiting, right? Because he's like, what can I give you? Like, you can't give me anything. But anyway, I will pass through all thy flocks today, removing from thence. So he's telling what he's going to do. All the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and the speckled, okay, among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So I'm gonna get all the speckled ones, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the so he's gonna separate them out, and he wants to get the ones that have speckles on them. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And the man said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. Okay, let it be like that then. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring streaked and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them in the hand of his son. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. Okay, so Jacob took him rods of green poplar. I don't even really know what that is. And of the hazel and the chestnut tree. Okay, so that must have been a type of tree. So we got hazel and chestnut. So I'm just trying to, think of it in context. And pile white grapes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rod. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering trough when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. Okay. So he set them up. And the flocks conceived before the rods and brought forth cattle ring-streaked, speckled, and spotted. Wow! Look how he did that. He made sure they had speckled and spotted. So he had a strategy, y'all. Tell me if Jacob was not um crafty. And Jacob did separate the lambs and set the faces of the flocks towards the ring straight and all the brown in the flocks of the Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves and put them not unto Laban's cattle. So he kept them separate. And it came to pass whenever the strong cattle did conceive that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Man, y'all hear this? The man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's. Okay, so now Laban's son is talking about some, he took everything. He took everything of my father, which was our father's, has he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not towards him as before. So Jacob noticed that Laban, it wasn't like it was at first. And so the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. So he said, you need to leave. So God told him to leave. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not towards me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father, with everything that I had, all my might. And your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. So God allowed him not to hurt me. So that was good that he didn't hurt him. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckles. And if he had thus, the ringstrakes shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstrakes. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. Wow. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraked, speckled, and gristled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see, all the rams which leaped upon the cattle are ringstraked, speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban does unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. Now you need to notice that this he captures the dream. First he said he had a dream, right? First they said he had a dream. Then he goes on to explain the dream to his wives, or whoever he was talking to. So in more detail, all right. And so Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? And were we counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and has quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all that all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. All right. So what images? What images is he talking about? This is the first time they even talked about images. We're gonna later find out this images is like a statue or some kind of trinket that was made. Okay. So Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he left in secret. He didn't even tell him he was leaving. And Jacob stole away. And so he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. So it wasn't until 3 days after he had left, he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night. Okay, so now God is intervening at this point and said unto him, take heed that thou speakest not to Jacob either good or bad. Okay, so be neutral in your approach to him. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee with mirth, and with songs, and with tabret, and with harp? Like, I should have had a going away party or something. Like, why did you just leave like that? And so, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly. This was not a good thing that you have done, Laban is saying. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. Now see, watch out. Now God told you not to say nothing good or bad. So he said, it's in my power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight. So you say, he's like, I was thinking about to hurt you. Oh my goodness. These people are so real. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. And now though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after my father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my God? What? Okay, so here it goes. The images are the gods. Are y'all listening? The images are the gods. The statues are the gods. Listen. Okay, and this is the first time they are talking about idols, idolatry. Okay, this is the first time that they are mentioning idolatry here in the word. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I saw peradventure that thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy God, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. Okay, so at this point, Jacob didn't know that Rachel stole it, so he was He was wishing death on whoever the thief was. Like, whoever stole it, let him die. Don't let him live. Okay. Before our brethren discern what is thine with me, because everything I have is mine. He claimed. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. So everybody had their own tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture. Okay, this is the first time they talk about furniture. But anyway, they put in the camel stuff and sat upon them, and Laban searched all the tent but found them not. Okay, so at this point he didn't even find this. He didn't find his images, quote unquote. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord, um, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. So she's like, it's that time of the month I can't get up. So really, honestly, she's not telling the truth. She is not telling the truth. She's not being honest. Cause number one, she's probably not on her cycle, and number two, she's sitting on the on the furniture of the camel, and so that's why he didn't find the images. And Jacob was wroth and showed with Laban. There's another word that wasn't mentioned before, showed. So we know that it has the connotation of being angry. Okay. Um, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? What I did so wrong that you come after me like that? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flocks have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand this thou requirest, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Okay, so if I lost anything, that was on me. Thus I was in the day that drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. So I had sleepless nights when the drought came. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy two daughters, and 6 for your cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times, except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac have been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God has seen mine affliction and the labor of my hand, and rebuked thee yesternight. So he said, look, that's the reason why God came to you in a dream, told you don't be saying nothing don't be sideways, don't be saying nothing good or bad. And so Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. Hold on, let me I'm on verse 45. I need to turn this alarm off. Okay. All right. So let's continue from 45. Verse 45. We're doing good, y'all. We're doing good in good time. Yesterday, I think it took a long time. I had a lot of little sidebar comments to make. We're getting good, maybe because I'm not in front of the camera. And so, um, verse 45, and Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and make an heap. And they did eat there upon the heap. So they done had a little going away party to see. He's like, I am not going back there to your house. Well, let's go ahead and set up this little going away party. Anyway, so they did all of that, set up a pillar, and the band called it Jegar Sahadutha. 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 That's how I said it right. Jegar Sahadutha. Dutha. And Jacob called it Gilead. Okay, so they had called it two different things. Galeed, I should say. And the band said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. And Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent from one another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, with us, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, behold, this heap, and behold, this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. Hmm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Jacob. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. He was kind of sad. Jacob had to leave like that because, he wanted to be able to say goodbye to everybody. So they tried to make amends with this pillar and the heat. So we can call it the pillar and the heat. All right. So let's continue. Um, Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. So Mahanaim must mean God's host, right? And so he was able to visit with God's host of angels in that place. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. I remember that was he was on his way to where his brother was staying. Okay, he didn't want any trouble, so he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servant and women servant, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find grace in thy sight. Okay. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to thy brother Esau, And also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Whoa. He got 400 men. Then Jacob was greatly afraid. Okay. You kind of concerned too. You come bringing 400 folks? Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herd, and the camel into two bands. Okay, so he split them up and said, if Esau comes to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. Okay, so he's strategizing. Guess who he gonna put up front? Anyway, we're gonna see. Verse 9. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which says unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal with thee. Okay, so he's talking to him. He's praying like, look, you're the one that told me to go back to my country, and I will deal with thee, well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies. See, he said, I ain't even worthy to have all this. And of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant, for with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Hmm. That's the first time they mentioned a staff. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea. So he's trying to put his promise back on, which cannot be numbered for multitudes, right? Okay, Lord, you told me that you was gonna do good. I'm going on your word, so that's why I'm going. And so he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother. So he is ready to give his brother a gift of truth, right? He didn't want no trouble. He's gonna try to give him a gift. See, 200 she goats, 20 he goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she asses, 10 foals. I mean, he gave him a lot. That was a big gift. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. Drove, I think, like flock. I think it's synonymous. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee, then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. Okay, so this is what you're gonna say when you find him. And say ye moreover, also tell him, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept of me. So as long as he's accepting, he will see my face. So went the present over before him. and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his two women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. Now I'm thinking ford is like the plain, you know, they're just calling it, giving it a different word. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestling a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. He said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Mm. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Because, like a prince, he has power with God and with men, and has prevailed. So he wrestled with God, and he prevailed. And God asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask me after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Mm, yes, his life is preserved even after seeing the face of God. And as he passed over, Peniel the sun arose. So notice how they even from one verse to another verse they spelled it differently. Okay, so first they spelled it Peniel, and by the time he said he passed over Penuel, they said Penuel. All right, so even in that, the spelling was changed just from one verse to the next, but we're talking about the same place. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day. Okay, so this is why they don't eat of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh. Okay, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Hmm. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold. Now I said, because I really don't know or understand that whole part that was stated. But this is a tradition that they started because of the wrestling that Jacob had. Okay. Now Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids, and he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, Rachel and Joseph hindermost. So put right, he wanted to double protect Rachel and Joseph, and he passed over before them. So his most valued was last, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. So have you have you ever seen somebody like bow themselves to the ground? I've seen some traditions like that, even among the Jews. Um, and Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Okay, so Esau greeted him and wept. So he was like kind of happy to see his brother, right? Saw the women and the children and said, "Who are those with thee?" And he said, "The children which God has graciously given thy servant." All of them, Dinah and all the 12 that they mentioned. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, "What meanest thou by all of this drove which I met?" And he said, "These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord." And Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself." He said, "I got enough. I don't need what you got." And Jacob said, "Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present in my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, and as though I had seen the face of God, and thou seen thy face, as though I have seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." And he urged him, and he took it. So he took the gift, all that stuff that he had named off was his present to his brother Esau. And he said, "Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee." And he said unto him, "My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds with young are with me. And if men should override them one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord unto Seir." And Esau said, "Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me." And he said, "What needeth it? Let me find grace in thy sight, O my Lord." So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came um, from Padanaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. Okay. And he erected there an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. Okay, so there's another altar erected. This is the altar that Jacob erected. Okay. Now we have a tradition, or not a tradition, but just a thing that each father had done. You know, Abraham built an altar, Isaac had built altars, and now Jacob has erected an altar at this point. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Now you have to remember where they at. They in Shalem, a city of Shechem, in the land of Canaan. You know them people bad. Canaanites ain't no good. Okay? So she went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her. He took her and lay with her and defiled her, and his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. How was she defiled? He took her virginity without permission, without saying he was going to be the husband, or that she was going to be his wife. And Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went up out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. So I mean, man, they kind of knew that. They knew that they was not supposed to be mixing with the people of Canaanite, and they did it anyway. Why he did that, I couldn't tell you, but that's just wrong. And so that's what they meant by wrought folly in Israel, because Israel was Jacob. Now Jacob then came to Canaan land and got all this trouble because of these people. And so Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father, and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Okay, so you talking to Jacob some sweet words, but I don't know. Let's see what Jacob say. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. Okay. Um, and the sons of Jacob answered Shechem. Okay, so they didn't even let Jacob speak yet. Jacob's sons, opened up their mouth and start talking. And they answered his father deceitfully. I want you to underline that word deceitfully, because they are not going to be forthright honest in their dealings with Shechem and Hamor. You know, Shechem did a bad thing because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Okay, so do you see? See why? You see the root of the problem? You say y'all not circumcised. Y'all was supposed to be circumcised. See, all of Abraham's children were circumcised on the 8th day after they were born. Shechem was not circumcised. We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to the one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you. So now they given a condition by which they will consent. If you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughters and will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. So they was like, oh yeah, okay, okay, we can do that. And the young men deferred not to do the thing. So immediately, they didn't even waste no time. Deferred, it means what it means. You know, they didn't wait. They didn't tarry. They didn't hold no time back. Okay? Cause because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Okay? And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only therein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male amongst us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Now, you got to remember this. Ham was the brother of Japheth and Shem. They were already family, but Ham was cursed of the brothers of Noah, you know? So this is what's going on here. They're trying to now put some kind of bond between the brothers, but Jacob's son is not really being honest. They don't really mean to um make league with them. Okay, so they lying at this point. Verse 23: shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? See, so they plotting. They want to be rich like them. So that's the reason why they was quick to go get circumcised. They didn't go get circumcised because, oh, they really love the wife and they really want to. No, they was doing this stuff because they was conniving. They both the family. Okay, to be honest with you, they both was not being honest and upright. But they were so quick to want to get circumcised because they want to have what Jacob's family had. You see? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. So they wanted a piece of the action. They wanted a piece of the pie. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. So everybody that was in that city, they got circumcised. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. Oh my God. Slew them all. Slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword. So now Hamor and Shechem gone. And took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Simeon and Levi did that. Simeon and Levi are murderers at this point. And Simeon and Levi both come from Leah. These are Leah's sons. The one that wasn't loved. Now her sons trying to fend for the sister. But anyway, but it's just they that was their first sister. This is that, not a half sister or anything. These was first sister because Dinah was came from Leah. All right. So they didn't like what was going on, and they didn't want to have no beef with the second folks from Canaan land. Okay. So the sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister. So that's a wrap up. That verse 27 basically telling what happened in a nutshell. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. Wow. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, should he deal with our sister as an harlot? They was mad. I was like, oh no, they gonna treat her like a prostitute. We should just supposed to just bow down and be good with it. Come on now. That's how they answered their dad. Like, cause it ain't right what they did to Dinah. And so God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make thee an altar unto God. Okay, so this is the first time that God actually requests an altar. Most of the time, you think that they took it upon themselves to erect an altar, but now God is saying, Make there an altar that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Okay. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. So when they took their stuff, they must have taken the gods with them, the images. He said, and be clean and change your garments. But you gotta also keep in mind, Rachel, they ain't never say nothing about Rachel's images. Come on, Rachel still has some. And let us rise and go up to Bethel, and I will make thee an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress. And with me is the way which I went. And they came, and they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hands, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. Okay, so he hid them. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the city that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So they was afraid of God, and so they didn't even try to pursue Jacob, none of their people. So Jacob came to Luz. Remember, Luz was renamed, which is in the land of Canaan. That is Bethel. Okay, he and all the people that were with him, and he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. All right. So Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died. Deborah? I didn't know Rebecca had a nurse named Deborah. Okay. So anyway, um, beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alon Bacchus. Alon Bacchus. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padanaram and blessed him. So God came to Jacob again when he came out of Padanaram and blessed him. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to thee, I will give it and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. So Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon. He poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him, Bethel. Okay, so this seems like a explanation, a more in-depth explanation of when Bethel was named. And they sojourned with Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass that she was in labor with the midwife, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but her father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that in the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. Hmm. So she was buried in Bethel. And so Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in the land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. Oh my goodness. So he took his father's wife. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, was Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padanaram. So they just, right there, they encapsulate in all of the children of Jacob, or Israel at this point. So those are the children of Israel. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. So he lived to be 180. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Aholibomah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zebion, the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Ada bare Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibamah bare Jeush, and Jalem, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together. So they couldn't live together because they both had a lot. And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Okay. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of Edomites, in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, and the wife of Esau, Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau, and the son of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Okay, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. So Timnah, she bare Eliphaz Amalek. Amalek is a dirty word now. You got to know that Amalekites were no good. You hear me? These are the sons of Ada, Esau's wife, and these are the sons of Ruel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife, and these were the sons of Aholibamah. Like in verse 14, like all the words are stuck together. I don't see any spaces. I don't know about your translation, but this is crazy. The daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zebion, Esau's wife, and she bears to Esau Jeush and Jalam and Korah. So they kind of like restating what was already stated there. These were dukes of the sons of Esau. First time they mentioned dukes, I think. Um, but I know that the sons of Ishmael had dukes as well. Um, so the son of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ada. And these were the sons of Ruel, Esau's sons, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shema, Duke Mizah. These were the dukes that came of Ruel in the land of Edom. That was in the Mount Seir. And these are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, Esau's wife. Okay, these are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. So that's the summary of all the dukes that came from Esau, which is Edom. Now these are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan and Shobal and Zibeon and Anna and Dishon and Ezer and Dishan. Um, these are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hemam, and Lotan's sisters was Timnah. So Lotan, Timnah, Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz. Okay. And these children of Shobal were these Alvan and Manahath and Ebal and Shephol and Onam. And these are the children of Zebion, both Aja and Anna. This was that Anna, the same Anna, that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zebion his father. And the children of Anna were these, Dishon and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. And these are the children of Dishon, Hamdan and Eshban, Ithran and Sharan. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan and Zavan and Achan. The children of Dishan are these, Uz and Aran. These are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zebion, and Duke Anna, Duke Dishon, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishon, these Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori among their dukes in the land of Seir. Okay. So now these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before they reigned any king over the children of Israel. So they made mention that there was never any kings in Israel. They didn't have no kings. They didn't have no like rulership or anything like that. So they started having kings first, the ones that were in the line of Ham, and they would call them dukes um, before. Okay, so Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom. And if you remember that Bela was one of the kings um, that were in that war. Okay, so I think, and I could be wrong, I could be mistaken, but I think they're kind of expounding on the kings that reigned before the war. And Bela died, and Jobab, or maybe afterwards. Okay, so these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before they reigned and king over the children of Israel. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his stead. He was the son of Zerah. He wasn't even Bela's son. Okay, so I don't know how he came to reign. But Jobab died, and Husham of the land of Temani reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. Now remember, Moab came from Lot's daughters sleeping with him when he was drunk. Okay, one was, if you remember, one was Moab. Okay, so um, so Husham died, and the son of Bedad smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Avis. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead, and Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jethath, Duke Aholibama, Duke Ella, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. And Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. All right, so he was a stranger in the land of Canaan. He wasn't really supposed to be there because that was the Canaanites was from another lineage. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah. Okay, this is like the Bilhah, I think was Dan and Naphtali, or well, so there was his like half brothers, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. So he basically was a snitch. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet even more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood around about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, Oh, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Oh, so you think you're going to be in charge? And shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams. Because you got to remember, Joseph was the youngest. Like, who you think you are? But anyway, he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Wow. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy brother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to earth? And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the same. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to them, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flock, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? What you looking for? And he said, I seek my brethren. I'm looking for my brothers now. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flock. And the man said, They are departed thence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Now, of course, if he got a coat of many colors, they can spot him a mile away, huh? And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see that what will become of this his dream. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. Okay, so Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to their father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat. Okay, stripped with a T, not ED. His coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up, like, your brother is in a pit. You just sit down eating bread? And they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites. Remember, Ishmael was the son of Isaac from Hagar. I think, hold on, wait. Abraham's son, sorry. Abraham's son, Ishmael. For Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. So they must have been going to trade. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. So they were good with that idea. Then there passed by Midianite merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt, and Reuben returned unto the pit. Sorry, he returned unto the pit. And behold, Joseph was not in there. Oh my goodness, Reuben was trying to save him. Now he's trying to figure out where he at. So he rent his clothes. Reuben was mad. He tore his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, This child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of goats and dipped the coat in the blood. So even Reuben at this point thought his brother was dead, right? But see, they kind of conceal it and dip the thing in blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, This have we found. Now, know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes. Now he mad too. So both Reuben and Jacob mad. And put sackcloth upon his loins. And mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. So Potiphar was captain of the guard. Sold him into slavery. And it came to pass at that time, um, sorry, I got distracted. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adullamite whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. Okay, so this is Judah. Judah been acting up. He took her the daughter of the Canaanite. And she conceived and bare a son. And he called his name Okay, so she is conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. Now this is not even good, Shua from a Canaanite woman. Now Judah having kids with them. He out of line. And she yet again bare, and she had Shelah, and he was at Sezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Okay, so Tamar was Er's wife. And Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. So of course, Canaanite, from a Canaanite woman, ain't nothing good coming from Canaan. Listen. Anyway, so the Lord slew him. The Lord slew him. Like, he ain't even wait for nobody to do it. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. Onan was like, Oh, He knew the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground, lest that they should give seed to his brother. So he was being spiteful. He's like, not gonna have no kids by her. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. So that thing that displeased him, he slew him. Okay. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow. Okay. So stay a widow at thy father's house till Salah, my son, be grown, and till Salah is old enough. Because Salah was still young. Okay. So, for he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Okay. Um. Let's see.